actually hope they beat me. I actually beat me. You don't win them 4 times in 1 year. Wait. I actually want to win. Wait. I want him to win. Yeah. He's gone. He's gone. Mate, I've met Daniel Lee. He's not very long. He doesn't understand the game. He doesn't understand any part. He's not the result. He's actually going very well. Yeah, so far. You can't keep winning. I'm able to do it. And the young guy, we're all right. I did lucky last night. They had a penalty in the last few. Saved it. It's going okay. It's only young guy. Haven't got the budget. We always average about 40. This new section is fine, Paul. I'll see you soon. I'll see you again. I'll come out, okay?
Hey, top game. Bravo. Well done. You're better than your man. I know he tells you he is better, aren't you? How many people are on that? Everyone tells you that. Sorry, Paul.
Today's match against Marconi Stallions, scheduled for 4 p.m. Sutherland Sharks FC would like to extend a sincere thank you to our valued club sponsors, Sutherland GWM. Mention Sharks at Sutherland GWM and you'll receive exclusive split pricing on all new cars. Pipe King, Ferrell's Group, JD Sports, Snap Printing, Smile Authentic Design, Deploy, Ray White Commercial, Develop Art, Abode Properties, Harper Jack Hall, TFS, The Records, Hobby Kitchens, Hader, Sports Speed Academy, Sunday Road, Reborn Athletics, Nectar Fruits, Crossbikes, Loan Market Capital. We're proud to have you as part of the Sharks family. Thank you for all your support. Music Bar is open up to level 1 behind the Golden Goals for a great new and even better atmosphere. The perfect place to grab a drink and settle in before kickoff. Music Bar is the best seat in the house. So let's take a look at today's starting lineup. So let's take a look at today's starting lineup. The away team, Marconi Stallions. Lining up for Marconi. Number 1, and in goal, James Hilton. Number 2, Tyron Burney. Number 5, Lachlan Griffiths. Number 6, Dom Costanza. Number 8, James Bayliss. Number 10, Marco Yesich. Number 16, Liam Yulee. Number 17, Damien Sakanis. Number 18, George Daniel. Number 23, Brandon Vella. Number 24, Mate Bizet. The substitutions for Marconi Stallions are number 7, Franco Mea Valenti. Number 9, Carl Cementi. Number 12, Julian Monge. Number 15, Jawad Razai. Number 20, Patrick Williams. Number 22, Alexander Gazdanovich.
Everywhere.
conditions for football, low 20s, and a very sky blue Shire afternoon. Let's take you through the team news, starting first with the host, the Sutherland Sharks. Steve Sorridge's side will have their attacking dry spell front of mind. Their side hasn't scored in their last 6 games, and injuries have plagued them. Having rebuilt in the off-season, at the halfway point, they find themselves in a bit of a relegation scrap. They'll be keen to try and put a bit of distance between themselves and the teams below. A point would be a massive claim against a side on the complete other end of the ladder. 3 would be a massive upset. Running you through their team news, there's a couple changes to go through. Lucas Chiamarella drops to the bench. Meanwhile, Nick Sullivan and Mohammed Ahmed are also out of the side. In their place come Lachlan Fields, Matthew Morich, Ruben Awaratifi, and Iko Ehode Arimoto. So the full starting 11 for Steve Zorich goes like this. In goal is number 1, Daniel Nizic. 2 is Lachlan McDonald. 4 is Lachlan Fields. 9, Ruben Awaratifi. 12, Iko Ehode Arimoto. 15, Matthew Morich. 17, Richard Shueke. 21, Jerry Skatardis. 22, Kataro Katsuda. 23, Mason Fernandez. And number 32, Dane Anderson. As for Marconi, well, they suffered their first loss of 2025 last week to the Wollongong Wolves. Lockie Scott's hat-trick marked the first time Marconi have conceded more than 1 in a game this season. A very uncharacteristically leaky performance from the best defensive side in the competition. They are still the best defensive side in terms of goals conceded. They've conceded 10. The next nearest is 15. As we've got kickoff, Lachlan Fields receiving the ball for the Sharks. We'll quickly run you through the Marconi 11. There is just the one change with Jake True out of the squad entirely. He's replaced in a like-for-like change with Damien Sekenis, who is on the end of that ball over on the far side as the ball rolls out of play. So the full starting 11 for Peter Sekenis goes like this. Number 1 in goal, James Hilton. Number 2, Tyron Burney. 5 is Lockie Griffiths. 6 is Dom Costanzo. 8 is James Bayliss. 10, the captain, Marco Jesic, who scored against Sutherland last season. 16 is Liam Yulee. 18 is George Daniel. 17, Damien Sekenis. 23, Brandon Vella. And 24, Mateo Busek. So with all that out of the way, can now take you full towards the action. As mentioned, for Sutherland, it's going to be a very tall task for them today. They've struggled to find the back of the net in this last month or so, and now they face the task of trying to score against a side that do not concede goals very easily at all. As Yulee has to move it on quickly. Skatardis was hunting, and now Marconi will knock it around the back. There might be a bit of pressure coming as Fernandez almost pinched it there. And a brief scare at the back for Marconi early. They want to avoid more of those. Meanwhile, Costanzo has it taken off him by Katsuda on the far side. Here is Daniel Nizic. Chipped the ball into midfield. Waratifi has the height to win those kinds of efforts in the air. Burney. Well played forward by Bayliss. Now here is Busek. Bayliss again. Pass around the corner will roll out of play, and it'll be a Sutherland throw deep in their own half. So did venture out towards the newly renovated bar before the game. It is quite a sight. It is certainly up there. I know Cromer Park up at Manly will have their own claims, but it might just be the best in the competition as Busek goes down. A bit of a trip up there, and an easy decision for our officials today. Marconi, they love to score first. It's been the hallmark of their performance so far this season, taking early leads and building off. When they conceded early to Marconi, it really blew. Conceded early to Wolves, should I say? It blew the game wide open. As Bayliss stands over this one, left-footed delivery coming. Marconi looking for the early lead. Bayliss low, it's towards the goal, and it's tapped in at the near post. Exactly the start that Marconi were after. Dom Costanzo fires the arrow, and it fires true.
And that's the goal to Marconi.
Ghosting in at the near post, he was unmarked. And Dom Costanzo, with the deftest of touches, guiding it into the back of the net. And Dom Costanzo, he has an eye for the spectacular at times. He made that look so simple and so easy, but running at full speed at the near post, guiding it in like that is exceptional technique from the Marconi winger. It's exactly what they needed, just to settle the nerves after last week, Marconi. But in terms of for Sutherland, it could not be a rougher start to this game. They would have wanted to try and settle themselves into it, try and disrupt Marconi early. Now they face the task of now having to try and regain control of this game. Marconi love to play from in front. They love to dictate the terms of the game. And they have firmly done that inside 5 minutes here at Seymour Shore. This is his second goal of the season, Dom Costanzo. Creativity is well known. Anyone who watches the NPL will know that Dom Costanzo is a threat from all opportunities, and Sutherland just failed to pick him up in that instance as they battle away in midfield. It's picked up here by Tyron Burney. He can burst forward. Here is Sekenis dropping off his striker position. Tries to maze his way through a couple of defenders as it ricochets off the shoulder of Burney, and that'll be a Sutherland throw. Sutherland historically don't have too bad of a record against Marconi. A draw and a loss against them last season, including that crazy 3-3 draw they played in June at Marconi Stadium. Here is Fields. Oh, it's given away here. It's Sekenis is onto it, as is Jesic. Marconi looking for a quick second. They're delayed momentarily before it's broken up in the end by Matthew Morich, as now Sutherland going to get boxed in here by Marco Jesic, but they almost find their way out, as now they go long up top towards Awaratifi and Skotadis. Last touch off the former MacArthur Bull and Western United man, Jerry Skotadis. Means that'll be a Marconi throw. Of course they are looking for another goal. Stanzo commits the foul over on the far side, and Hode Arimoto getting forward. There's more people streaming in. I think they might have been at the bar now. They're coming down to the grandstand, and for all of Sutherland's difficulties on the field this last patch, Sutherland Tri community has been right behind this side. There was a lot of promise initially, and there still is. Hampered by injuries as Suda has to go quickly. Sekenis is looking to feed off the scraps up top. Now they'll move it around the back. This is one of a couple of NPL games going on at the moment. Spirit and Western Sydney in another game that's important for the relegation battle. Sutherland will be keeping a look over their shoulders on that one. That one's standing at 1-1 at the moment. Wanderers took the lead before Mariners equalised as Marconi go all the way back to Hilton. And here's Burney. Now Sutherland were looking to press and they weren't far away again. Anderson on this left wing. Him and Mason Fernandez have looked to really cause problems, but Marconi so far have remained steadfast, as you'd expect from the league leaders. Latifi taken away in midfield. Morich was able to win it back though. Now they make them move, the Sharks, and loose pass there by Skatardis. Costanzo. Crossfield switch is going to get Tyron Burney involved, and it will reach him. Now he awaits for Busek to come forward in support. Dashing inside is Tyron Burney. Jesic makes a run also. Now he chips it, looking for Sakenis. Broken up. The first attempt by Arimoto, the second by Fields. Sakenis. Sharks are able to clear, but it's only as far as Griffiths. Busek. Sakenis turning on the edge of the area. And Tyron Burney, he can put in a good ball as he rides the initial challenge, cutting it in low. And seen away this time more convincingly by Sutherland, but they've all been pinned back inside their own attacking half. Loose pass again by Dane Anderson. Sharks finding it difficult at the moment. Call of men on from Bayless. He's able to recycle possession as Yulee moves it on. It's good football by Marconi. George Daniel. Dom Costanzo beats his man and gets to the byline, looking for a floated ball back post towards Busek. A little overhit, but it'll stay with Marconi. Busek again, this time a bit more on it. Headed clear. Costanzo thought he was offside, so he didn't quite get involved. Now the play resets. Wave after wave on this Sutherland defence. Jesic is looking to combine with Sakenis, but again, Sutherland are just forcing clearances at the moment, but they've constantly been penned inside their own 18, and that'll provide a bit of a reprieve as Liam Yulee's shot is easily taken by Daniel Nizic. Again, they look up top towards the Waratifi, but he was flagged for offside. Now Sutherland have another Marconi attack to contend with. Daniel. Ball is in and it's easily taken down. Sutherland just getting through this midfield has been the primary obstacle so far. They've looked along on occasion as they've done here, but just been unable to link up. A Waratifi a couple of times has been able to win the ball, but he's cut an isolated figure in that number 9 jersey. Here's Bayless. Yulee. Burney. Sakenis. Shot football in midfield by the Stallions. Jesic. So composed at the moment right now, Marconi. If there was any suggestion that last week might have rattled them coming into this week, that's surely been waved away by their start here. Burney has the pace to go at his man. We've seen this already. He's well marshalled there by Anderson, and the young fullback has won a foul for his team. And so Marconi continue, or rather resume their streak of starting well in games. Until last week, they had scored first in 6 straight games. And that was broken by the Wolves as Waratifi was trying to pounce on that from Vela. So far, James Hilton has been very, very quiet down on that Smithies bar end of the ground. It's a full balcony. Just as full of a grandstand below us here as the pattern of play in this game continues. 14 minutes gone here at Seymour Shore. It's all Marconi. Just knocking the ball about at will, and Sutherland trying to find the counter a bit more, but they haven't had too many opportunities yet. Bernie. Ball is whipped in. It takes a touch on its way through, and despite Nizic's best attempts, but no complaints about that. It'll be a goal kick. Bayless will come across to deliver. He's already been credited with the assist for Dom Costanzo's second goal of the season. Here he goes again. This time again it's towards the near post. Jesic tries to flick it back in. Something from the training ground perhaps, but unable to fully execute as Bernie pokes that out of play. So it'll be a Sutherland throw. Knocks that up towards Sakenis. Of course, no Jake True out there up top for Marconi today. Easy swap for him and Sakenis. Those two equally comfortable playing up front. Meanwhile, the Sharks are on the attack. And there's been a bit of a knock here. Richard Shueke has gone down, clutching at his ankle. He does not look in the right way. Drew a pass by Costanzo to Bernie. Marconi are on the attack here, and Sutherland are going to have to play with 10 for the time being as Busek goes inside. Makes his way through a couple of defenders. Sakenis stayed on side as well. Waratifi. We'll go out of play, and Shueke's back on his feet, but I think the Sharks bench are telling him to go down so that he can receive treatment. He was down for a good half a minute there, Shueke. Now he's resumed back onto the pitch, and so the Sharks medical staff can attend to him, and hopefully it's nothing too serious, because the Sharks are especially light on numbers up front. Peter Groslos is on the bench. He's continued his comeback from injury. Petrados brothers out as well, Markey and Costa. So someone like Richard Shueke is going to be extremely important for Sutherland if they are to rediscover their goal scoring touch. They started the season so brightly in front of goal. And some rotten luck with injuries has derailed them, but there's no choice but for them to push forward through this trouble they find themselves in. Play resumes. Shueke is all right to continue, which is great news for a Sutherland Sharks bench. Their depth won't be stretched quite as of yet. There's Jesic. Pass is intended for him. It's promptly shot down by Marconi as Sakenis tries to get going down this right wing. Looking for a bit of help as McDonald for company. And Sutherland try and play out. Anderson. Chipped over to Kataro Katsuda and Skatardis. This is much better football from the Sharks. First time they've been really able to combine, as Brandon Vella says that's enough of that and hoops it back down the other end. There's no Daniel Long either for Sutherland. That's another injury to add to the mix, as now they're on the attack. rare chance in this opening 20 minutes or so. Katsuda. Now Sutherland can get their foot on the ball in the attacking half as they find Skatardis out on this wing. He receives it back again. Now he tries his luck from distance. And Hilton saw that all the way. Bernie. Broken up well by McDonald as he chips it over the top, intended for Awaratifi, who's going to get there just ahead of Vela, but he did well to get him out of the way there. Brandon Vela uses his physicality cleanly. Here for the Stallions to defend as it's lumped into the box, cleared away easily enough by Bayless as that one's going to go up and out of play. And so McDonald will get another opportunity to launch this into the box. Instead he goes short this time. Morich has a loose pass and now the Stallions are away. Yuli moves it wide for Costanzo. The Sharks streaming back in defence. Costanzo looking for a potential second. Yuli goes down, claiming a foul, but the challenge from Skatardis was legal. Switch of play. Into the box, loaded up Marconi, plenty of numbers in the area. George Daniels also joins the attack from left back. Twists one way then the other. Now he puts his cross in. Bernie is there as well. Almost a fullback to fullback connection. Back out to Tsakenis. Now he puts his shot on goal. And Marko Jesic was half a metre away there from tapping it in. Instead it will be a Marconi corner. Took a touch on the way through, which might have been enough to divert it away from Marko Jesic. Have already scored from one set piece early in this half. Now they'll have a chance to create another. Tsakenis is on the edge of the area. Thought they might have been looking for him there. Instead, Costanzo takes. He goes near post again. McDonald is the first defender and meets the task. Now Costanzo goes again, a bit deeper. This time it falls back to Tsakenis. Using Yuli. First time low driven cross in. Back it is for Mate Busek. Now Don Costanzo. Lofted ball in. Marko Jesic is the intended target. Cries of handball. They weren't really meaningful though. Hode Arimoto can't beat Costanzo to the ball. Another wave of attack for Marconi. They've spent all this half down this end of the pitch. Now it's broken up as Griffiths just fell to the ground there. Didn't mean to collide with play. All innocent though, as still Morich has to play his way out, and now the Sharks can play as Tsakenis was hunting. And Daniel Nizic as Katara Katsuda was thinking about chasing, but too much power on it from Nizic, so it goes to the opposite keeper, James Hilton. Progress impeded by Shueke. Past the halfway point of this first period, it's been as predicted, really. Marconi dictating play, scoring early. Sutherland finding it difficult to get meaningful chances as Marconi looked to go again. Tsakenis is up there, but now he's got on the other side of the defender. Tsakenis has put it in for Marco Jesic. It might still fall here for Costanzo. Teeing it up for Bayless. An easy finish for James Bayless. Made it look so simple from the edge of the area. Guiding it into that bottom left corner.
Goal, Marconi Stallions. Number 8, James Bayless.
And the Stallions are firing here at Seymour Shore. A great team move, which started with Tsakenis lofting a ball in. Marco Jesic couldn't connect. Costanzo was there at the back post. Maybe could have had a look in himself, but realised that Bayless was in a much better position and teed him up from 18 yards out. And Bayless was always going to do the damage from there, with so much time to pick his spot. And Daniel Nizic was at full stretch but couldn't keep him out. And so the Stallions are really flexing their muscle here at Seymour Shore. James Bayless with a great finish for his first goal of 2025. Long way back now for Sutherland. They've found themselves in another hole at home. 2-0 to RP Leichhardt. They lost that one in their first game back at Seymour Shore this season. They haven't had too many games at their true home. They have had nominal home games, but they've all been at either Valentine Sports Park or the Illington Sports Centre. Busiak can turn. He can really hit them from range as he tries his luck. Tsakenis can't beat two Sutherland defenders. Instead, he'll try and pressure Morridge to win the ball back in a similar position from where he did for the second goal. Morridge calmly plays that off the Marconi defender, so that'll be a Sutherland goal kick. Go up to try and win it as well. He was there with McDonald as Fields puts it over his shoulder now. He's got it back at his feet, the Sutherland man. And the old ACT is Jesic makes his way through a couple of defenders. It's not the first time he's made that run, but it's the first time that he's been rewarded as Kotaro Katsuda trips him up. And Marco Jesic foul in a good position for his team. Is a prime crossing angle for the Stallions. Bayless to deliver. Can he turn provider this time? It's a good ball towards the penalty spot, but Sutherland are able to clear only as far as Tsakenis, who's drifted for about every part of that front three as he tries himself. It didn't look like there was all that much on there from Damien Tsakenis, but he had a pop from range. And with the side 2-0 up and playing confidently, he's well within his rights to do so. Passes well read by Yuli in midfield as now they look inside. Busiak is going to try and connect to this one. Falls back out to Bayless instead. Is broken up by Dane Anderson. Stallions have probably had about 65% of the ball. If I had to hazard a guess, they've, as expected, kept so much of it. Busek has drifted inside on the edge of the area. He's tried to connect with Jesic again. Goes down as Bayliss drives through midfield. It's going to fall for Tsakenis. And a good swing at the ball, but couldn't connect as eventually the Sharks clear their lines. Yuli and Bayliss in midfield have done an exceptional job of just keeping the ball ticking over for Marconi. They've been a big reason why the Stallions have had so much of it. Daniel has a license to roam forward now as he tries to get past Morridge on that far side, thinking that he's won himself a corner, but the last touch was off the Marconi fullback. Launches one up top, and Busek and Tsakenis are right there. Now they'll try and combine, and they do so. Tsakenis beats a couple of Sutherland defenders. Chance to add a third. Tries to put it underneath Daniel Nizic. He had the right idea there, Damien Tsakenis. Nizic got down just in the nick of time to deny him. Marko Jesic was also in the box as well. Here is Jesic. The Stallions looking to go quickly as Arimoto just stuck out a leg at the vital moment. Costanzo would have been running away down the other end, thinking of a second goal and a third for Marconi. Morridge. The challenge by Tsakenis to pinch it off the Sharks. Here is Yuli. Daniel. Back by Shueke. The Sharks are looking to pounce forward, but there's not too many options ahead of him. Fantastic challenge by Liam Yuli, who's, I think, telling his attackers they've got to try and take better care of the ball up top and not give it away, force him into challenges like that. Well read by Griffiths. Donald goes in strong to win it, and that'll be a Sutherland throw just in front of us here in the stand. Arimoto. Tatsuda. Fernandez able to turn the corner well, and this could be a spark potentially for the Sharks as George Daniel. A good reading of the play by Marconi, just able to stop them as McDonald does the same on the other end for Sutherland. Shot from range from Anderson, and there'll be a disappointing into that one for Sutherland. And perhaps try and keep the ball for a bit longer. resume their assault on the Sutherland goal. Here is Bayless. Yesic. Yuli turns and sees Costanzo on that far side. Now he puts it in for Yesic, but that's far too close to Daniel Nizic. He launches it, and you still have Anderson interested. Griffiths does well to diffuse the situation in the air. And Marconi continue to have their foot down on the Sharks, just taking the sting out of any potential momentum. Bernie getting forward well. Here is Bayless. Crossfield switch, and it's going to bend out to Dom Costanzo. That's a fantastic piece of midfield work there by Bayless. Costanzo can't beat Fernandez. Yuli again, you can just see what he does, able to disrupt play constantly as Bernie. Cheeky ball into the box. The Sharks clear again. It's only as far as Bayless. Him and Yuli have acted as a consistent roadblock for the Sutherland Sharks. Daniel and Yesic. They go wide to Costanzo. Now the cross comes in. Only Hode Arimoto was there, and he's able to clear his lines quite easily. Bernie. Donald has done well on his left flank to his credit. They've really tested him, despite the fact they are down by 2-0 Sutherland. Lockie McDonald has had a decent game from an individual perspective. In for Daniel, and that's easily taken down by Nizic. Again, there's Liam Yuli just winning another tackle in midfield. The Sharks have found it so hard to get any semblance of momentum. They had a couple of passages about 10 minutes or so ago, but James Hilton has been a spectator by and large in this as Bernie gets through a couple of defenders. Griffiths lofts it into Yesic. Pass around the corner for Bernie. He's drifted inside a couple of times, Tyron Bernie. That's how much attacking freedom Marconi have at the moment. As Yesic is there at the back post, tries to connect. And he almost had a second bite of the cherry there, Marco Yesic. Did well enough to get there, but Eventually taken back to James Hilton, who gets a rare touch of the ball. Sutherland finds himself defending once again. Well, there is Busek trying to rise highest, unable to connect, and because of the fact that Sharks are sitting quite deep, actually, it's forced Marconi to put a couple of these crosses in, which is good from a Sharks perspective, but they still need to find something down the other end of the pitch. They've stemmed the tide a little bit. They've stopped the bleeding for now, but it's all about their attack at the moment. That's been the story for the Sharks this last month, just unable to find the back of the net. And they risk going 7 consecutive games without scoring a goal. And that's in all competitions, including the Cup as well. And they were knocked out 6-0 by Rockdale Illingdon. Morridge. Broken up by Griffiths, who goes to ground under the challenge, and I think Marconi perhaps so sitting so comfortably, would have been a better opportunity for them to play advantage, but I think they're happy just to reset things and take it nice and slow. Here is Costanzo now, looking to go at his man, Hode Arimoto. He beats him, cutting it back for Yesic. It's broken up, but Sekenis is there, and it's almost poked in the second attempt. And some last-ditch defending by Matthew Morridge has prevented Damien Sekenis from adding a third before half-time for the Stallions. Bayless. Yesic, here is Sekenis. Marconi thinking of adding a third before the break as it's diffused back towards Nizic. Oh, and it's fallen back towards Yesic. Inadvertent touch. It's summed up the Sharks' afternoon mostly so far, as now they'll try and go down the other end. Anderson has gotten forward, low-driven shot. And that's positive from Sutherland, but they've shown they can get forward. They'll need more of that on the other side of the half-time break, and maybe if they can jag one before half-time, that might lay the foundation for a second-half comeback. But the way the Stallions have been defending today, and with the exception of last week, all season, they've only conceded more than a goal in a game once, and that was last week. So it's going to be a tough comeback to try and mount to collect a point out of this game for Sutherland, let alone all three. Yulee. Griffiths, who takes the space afforded to him. Busek has to go through the legs of his defender. Skatardis takes it though, as there is Yulee. He launches it into the corner. Hilton. Griffiths. Crossfield switch all the way out to the other side, and Vela has moved it on promptly to Costanzo, who has Hode Arimoto all over him, and that's an easy call for our officials. Vela, early release pass forward. Sekenis is going to get on the end of this one potentially, and he does so. He goes to ground. And a couple of shouts for a penalty, but it looked like it was a tangle between the two of them. And Peter Sekenis on the near side is having a bit of a chat to the fourth official about it. And there were no real protests from Damon Sekenis. The player most interested was Marko Jesic. I think the fact that Sekenis didn't call for it himself might have played a part there. Aramoto puts it up towards Morridge, who tries to flick it on. Dane Anderson is a player in pursuit, but Griffiths will let this roll out. Anderson's going to give him a bit of trouble. He will just do so for Hilton as well. And Marconi just so calm playing out at the moment as Yuli chests it down for Bernie. Maybe a Sutherland throw just inside the attacking half. Fourth official's board goes up. We'll await confirmation of that.
There will be a minimum of 1 minute time added on.
Just the 1 minute. There's Katsuda. Vela easily takes that to James Hilton, who clears that away from danger. Foul been called as Sutherland get the ball rolling again. Bit of confusion as to what that was all about as Sekenis briefly disrupts the play, but it'll stay with the Sharks. Nizic goes for distance on the clearance. Or Atifi. I haven't said his name too often in this last 20 minutes. As the first half comes to a close, exactly what Marconi would have been looking for as they started this afternoon. A nice 2-0 lead to take into the break. Dom Costanzo and James Bayless putting in the goals. And so the halftime break, Stallions lead 2-0. I've been Will Constantinides with you for the first half. We'll see you back soon on the other side of this quick break.
GWM, and you'll receive exclusive fleet pricing on all new cars. Pipe King, Ferris Group, JD Sports, Snap Printing, Smile Orthodontic Design, Deploy, RWC Sutherland Shire, Develop Art, Abode Property, Harper Jack Hall. The Records, Holby Kitchen, Cater, Sports Speed Academy, Sunday Road, Reborn Athletic, Nectar Fruits, Crossfire Motorcycles, and Low Market Capital. We're proud to have you as part of the Sharks family. Thank you for all your support. A big welcome to today's mini roos from Caringbah Redbirds. Let's give them a big cheer and show our support. If you're looking for the best place to take in the second half, head up to Skippy's Bar, located on level 1 behind the roof goal. It's the ultimate spot to enjoy your drink and catch all the action.
Welcome back to the second half of football here at Seymour Shore. It's the Sharks who find themselves in an unenviable position. And that they won't be alone in facing this season, which is they've found themselves 2 goals down to the league leaders, the Marconi Stallions, who have thoroughly impressed in this first half. And now the task will be trying to score not 1 but 2 goals against them. Only one other side has done that, which was the Wollongong Wolves last week. And looks like Peter Grozos is out there now in midfield, so that'll provide a bit of extra work for the Sharks in attack. Him and Skatardis can definitely provide a bit of creative influence. And Hode Arimoto on the ball now. Back into the game again. It was a real feature of the first half of the Stallions. George Daniel and Tyron Burney were just as involved in the attack as the likes of Damien Sekenis and Marco Jesic, getting forward so often. Costanzo to try and turn provider this time. It was James Bayless's free kick that he got on the end of to put the Stallions in front inside 5 minutes. Here he goes now. This time it's towards the 6-yard box, and that was Griffiths who was crashing into the box there. Threw absolutely everything of trying to get to the ball, and he's collected the net in the process. On his feet now, Lockie Griffiths. He really collided. He's a big lad, Lockie Griffiths. And there's a lot of limb to get tangled up inside that net, but thankfully for Stallions is okay. Of course, no Cam Windust, no Anton Milinaric, so the defensive depth for Marconi is being challenged right now. By Skatardis, and now they found a Waratifi. The flag is down though. Stallions thought it should have been up, as Skatardis has gotten on the end of this here. A goal here for the Stallions would be warmly welcomed by the capacity crowd at Seymour Shore. Comes in, Grozos. Again, it's a near post. It's been the target for both teams, really. In comes the corner. Cleared away by the Stallions. They've met the task well defensively. They haven't had to defend too much, in all honesty, but when they have, they've really snuffed out the Sharks, as Shueke wants it to be Sharks ball, and it won't be, sorry. We'll stay with Dom Costanzo and the Marconi Stallions. quick score update. The Wanderers and the Mariners have drawn 2-2. Northwest Sydney and Mount Druitt is going to kick off imminently as well. Bernie finds a crossing angle. It's found. Yesic has flicked it back. Sekenis was interested. Here is Grozos as the Sharks try and burst forward on the counter. They move it to Shueke. McDonald tries to get involved himself. You can see the difference that Peter Grozos has made since coming on. Former St. George man, and that's a killer turnover, much to the dismay of Stephen Zorich. Touch by George Daniel just to keep things calm from a Marconi perspective. That's what Marconi will want to do. They want to keep this game in a lower gear, keep a lid on proceedings, and I think if the Sharks start to go on a flurry attacking-wise, put a couple of shots together, that'll get the crowd into the game and start to get a bit of feeling that they could mount a potential comeback, but it's going to have to start soon. Chances have been few and far between. Yesic. Daniel bursts his way through a couple of Marconi defenders, then nutmegs Ihode Arimoto going to ground in search of a foul. Nothing doing. Sekenis is going to pressure here, and he's almost won it back. Eventually he has done so. Bernie, now he goes from the edge of the area, feeding it wide for Sekenis. Broken up in the last-ditch effort by Mason Fernandez, and now Sutherland can look to go forward here. Kotaro Katsuda. Shueke is in an acre of space on this right wing. Costanzo getting back well to do his defensive duties and just holds up Richard Shueke ever so well. And now he's gone to ground and won his team a foul. And that's Dom Costanzo, known for perhaps more his attacking work, but that time it was his defensive duties coming into play there. Lumped up top to Yesic, it'll stay with Marconi. About the restart plays. Misic shifts it wide, asking a lot of McDonald there, but eventually he brings it under his control, rather awkwardly, but just to control of possession. They didn't have all that much of the ball in the first half, and it was really the story that Marconi were dictating the game to them, and as a result of that, were able to put 2 goals past them. Meanwhile, Bayless has given it to Yesic, got it between his feet. Now he has the ball, puts a shot towards Misic. A relatively tame effort by Marco Yesic's lofty standards. It goes from Daniel Misic to Waratifi is underneath this with Vela. Waratifi has won it well, but Stallions have won the second ball even when they've lost the first. That's been the story of the game for Peter Sekenis' outfit. Able to beat a couple of defenders. Now he takes his man towards the right, puts a cross in, deflected away. That'll be another Stallions corner. is all the way over there to take. I mean, Muley is rushing over, potentially as a bit of a short option. I don't think he'll use him, no. Now, in it comes from Bayless. Again, it's towards the near post. Griffiths was there, punched away by Nizic, only as far as the edge of the area, and now the Stallions can think about recycling, but Morich has beaten his man to the punch here. Awaratifi. The Sharks are on the counter. Ruben Awaratifi. He runs for the corner in search of a bit of support, maybe just tries to hold up the ball, and he's won his side of corner here, and that is as good as what Ruben Awaratifi could have got in that situation. There wasn't any other players alongside him, so he just held it up, waited for them to arrive, and when he realised they weren't coming, he was able to get his side of corner. And the Sharks potentially jag something from this situation. Grozos is the man tasked with taking it. Threw it in near post, cleared away. Fernandez able to keep this one in. Fields from Morich. Want it back again in a good area here, the Sharks, with Grozos. Fernandez shapes the cross, floats it in towards the back stick. Nodded down in the area and then eventually hoofed away from danger by Brandon Bell. Griffiths, he joins the attack now. The centre back heading all the way forward is the most advanced player up front here for the Stallions. Hode Arimoto. Villa looking for that incisive ball over the top, and it's going to find Costanzo. He's put that exactly where he needed to there, down into the corner flag for Dom Costanzo. Here is Sekenis. Cross is deflected, which takes it out of the path of Jesic. Kataro Katsuda can pick up the scraps. Sutherland looked to burst forward with urgency, and it's just left behind there for Richard Shueke. Bernie. Stallions knock it around in towards Jesic in the corner. He's going to get there, and he's perhaps realised that he wasn't going to keep it in, so he gets a touch to stop it from going out of play. Katsuda moving it on well. Sharks have been much improved to start this second half. Seen a lot more of possession and seen a lot more of it in the types of areas they want to have it, which is in this middle third, in the attacking third as well sometimes, as Fernandez slips up and that invites Marconi to pick up the error. And George Daniel. Yuli swings it around out wide to Tyron Burney. Both Marconi fullbacks have seen plenty of possession. Bayless, you can see how deep Sutherland is set. Marconi just searching for a hole to get a third goal here. You'd think that would put the game to bed with how difficult it's been for Sutherland to test James Hilton, as now Jesic looks to get on the end of that pass, and he wasn't too far away at all. Just a bit too much on it there from Bayless. Shueke. Oh, he's just let that one play there, Richard Shueke. Momentary lapse in concentration. Looking perhaps creep into the game for Sutherland. They've been doing so much defending. Haven't seen a lot of the ball. There's probably some tired legs out there and some tired minds as well. There's Sakanis. It's a lovely ball forward by Bayless. Hode Arimoto temporarily halts his progress. Sakanis, ball intended for Yesic. It's a bit long though, as Costanzo will try and get on the end of it. He's unable to do so, so it'll be a Sutherland goal kick. Dennis tries to get the other side of Fields here. Goes all the way back to Nizic, who again searching for Ruben Awaratifi up top. His touch evaded him there. James Bayless is having a fantastic game. Him and Yuli really have turned the ball over so well, just kept it moving in midfield. Yuli doesn't have a goal to his name, but has been just as impactful. Bayless' second effort has the lead at 2. Lofted in, Yesic is there, heads it back towards goal, and they almost took a deflection in. And a good reaction saved by Daniel Nizic. Needed to be alert to it. Marco Yesic hunting to add the cherry on top here for Marconi. Turned over again, and now they look to pounce the Stallions. Yesic goes down. Skill in midfield by Yuli, and Bayless can go forward. There's holes appearing in this defence. Marco Yesic has gotten forward. Sakanis, not far away, hits the back. Behind the goal. And momentarily, Sutherland were really caught out in that situation. Of course, with Wanderers and Mariners drawing, if Sutherland do lose points, which if this result holds, they will, that will really impact the bottom part of the ladder. So Mariners and Wanderers will go to 9 points and 6 points. Sutherland will remain on 12. They'd only be 3 points ahead of Wanderers. There's only 3 for that points deduction that the Wanderers suffered. As Shueke tries to get the other side of Velo, almost dials it in. Comes Griffiths, but it's given away as Shueke tries to put one on goal. Palms over the bar by Hilton, and that's the best look of the game that the Sharks have had on goal. And it's down to the perseverance of Richard Shueke. Just simply didn't give up on the play after initially losing the ball. And Hilton was wiser to it. He tried to blast it at the near post. comes in from Grozos. Back out to Kotaro Katsuda. Made good connection with it, but it would have had to go through a sea of bodies to find the goal. McDonald lumps it in towards Fields. Back out for Ehode Arimoto as the Sharks are trying to use that Shueike chance to create a bit of momentum, something that they haven't had too much of yet. But it won't take much to spark it. If they can find a goal here, they'd be well in for a chance at a second with this capacity crowd right behind them. Grozos drifting inwards. Fernandez. Katsuda. Costanzo has won it back here, and now the Stallions are on the counter. Sakanis. Won't get to it before Nizic, though, as he launches it back down the other end. It'll stay in play. But no Sharks immediately near the ball, which means George Daniel can find his way forward, only to be intercepted by Lockie McDonald. Waratifi tries to use his body well. Takes matters into his own hands. We haven't seen him get forward too often. We saw Griffiths do that a moment ago. Now he puts in a cross. Fields is in the way. We'll get another go potentially here, Vela. And again, Fields is the man that he finds. Stallions have to be careful that complacency doesn't creep into their game. They're usually very, very good at holding leads and seeing out the rest of the game. But the way Sutherland have been finding pockets of space, finding small avenues to goal. They're not quite out of it just yet, but if they are going to score, time is certainly not on their friend, as Ehode Arimoto looks for a Waratifi, and Hilton made that look easy with Waratifi looking to claim a loose ball there. Sharks get going again. Tardis over the top, intended for Shueike, who's twisted his body in search of someone, hoping someone was there, but as mentioned, they've defended for so much of this game, the Sharks, and whilst they have come into it more and more as the second half has gone on, the tight legs out there will mean it's going to be difficult to burst forward with as much ease as they otherwise would have been able to. Norwich goes down on that far side. So now they'll go to the bench. Second time they'll do so with Sutherland legend, one-time Sutherland Sharks player, Jordan Roberts. Favourite sons of this part of the world, replacing Lockie Fields, so some fresh legs at the back.
Leading the field for your Sutherland Sharks is number 4, Lockie Fields. He's being replaced by number 3, Jordan Roberts.
Here is Roberts now, his first involvement. Whipped into the box with a bit of danger, but There's Griffiths again, who's putting a workman-like performance at the back. Bernie down in that corner, tries to dig his way out, and sure enough does, with Busek and Bayless able to help him out. Hilton. Stallions moved around. Costanzo. Oh, lovely skill from Dom Costanzo. Left his defender in the dust, and now he can go forward. Sekenis alongside him. Broken up, though, by the Sharks. Here is Dom Costanzo. Couldn't quite get enough power underneath it there. Good positive play. So Carl Chimenti is being prepared. Made his comeback earlier in the season, Carl Chimenti, with a big goal as well. Shueke is irate with the referee feeling that he was tripped up. Costanzo and Roberts battle for it on this near side as flicked over towards Skatardis. Fernandez looking for Katsuda. Again, the Sharks climbing up in midfield as Daniel was one inside a foul. Roberts perhaps not aware. Looks like it might be a double sub as well. Chimenti and Meyer also off the bench. Franco Meyer. So off comes Liam Yuli, and off comes Dom Costanzo. Looks like Monge is also making his way onto the pitch. It'll be a triple sub, Julian Monge. And so Marco Jestic, Dom Costanzo and Mate Busek, the three men that'll make way for Chimenti, Meyer and...
Coming onto the field for Marconi Stallions, number 7, Franco Meyer Valenti, and number 12, Julian Monge.
So 3 pairs of fresh legs.
Also
for
number
Peter
9,
Sekenis out there just to keep things going.
Carl Cimenti.
Katsuda, lovely turn in midfield. Fernandez didn't realise Monge was right behind him. Him and Meyer have won the ball back here for Marconi. Just over 15 minutes to go. Still, it's the Stallions' 2 first half goals that have them in a comfortable position down here at Seymour Shore. There is Monge, who will have to replace Liam Yuli, who, as I mentioned, was so tireless in midfield. Worked very, very well in there. Meyer has the Waratifi right with him. Almost sold Vela short a little bit, but he was tripped up. The late challenge from Ruben Waratifi. Busek. Roberts goes in strongly, goes in cleanly. And there's Skatardis able to find his way forward. Waratifi holds it up, left behind by Shueke, and Daniel gets in between him and the ball. Roberts went in strong and might have given his position away. George Daniel getting forward, lofted ball in. This will test Mizic, but it's fairly comfortable work in the end. A bit too close there to the Marconi keeper. Now Chivenzi's on the attack here for the Stallions. Good clean challenge by Hode Arimoto. Busek. Oh, lovely ball forward. It's Hilton off his line quickly. Had to be alert to it. Grozos was out there on that left wing. And momentarily, the Stallions might have been caught out. Comes in. There is Sekenis to add a third. Inches away. Booking coming in the process there for McDonald on the far side. Midfield, and now they look to go forward. Awara Tifi, who's found himself in a rare bit of space. The Sharks looking for a bit of inspiration. Awara Tifi trying to provide it. Hilton reaches out, gets a good touch to it, only as far as Shueke though. And the Stallions are able to scramble away defensively, but just a couple of holes starting to open up here for Sutherland. Sekenis no doubt has it on his mind to try and shut that down. Awara Tifi again. That time Vela is able to beat him and wins a foul in the process. Looks like another sub is being prepared on the near side. Confirmation of that in just a moment. Meanwhile, the Stallions are getting forward. So Jawad Razai came off the bench last week as well. Will have his chance. So it looks like Ty McGowan could be coming on for the Sharks as well. So a couple of fresh legs to throw into the mix here. Just over 10 minutes gone, and Marconi have really kept a lid on things here at Seymour Shore. Meyer. Ambitious effort. Easily taken down by Nizic. Good turn forward with Fernandez. Katsuda. There's Griffiths again, standing in the way. They'll try and switch to the right-hand side here, the Sharks. Julian Wodge is going to go to ground, so he's got enough of the ball there and winning cleanly. Katsuda. Sharks have to be careful, there's plenty of Stallions players pressing at this point. Now they find their way through midfield. Skatardis. Out to Jordan Roberts. Cutting it back, still with Skatardis. Could think about a shot himself, takes a ricochet. Almost falls kindly to the Sharks player on the edge of the area, but despite a couple of bodies near there, it's the Stallions who come out on top this time. Maya able to get around his man. Good challenge by Maya. That's Damien Sekenis, and Sekenis might have a bit of a cramp potentially. I wonder if Razai coming on might be the potential solution to that.
Leading the field for your Sutherland Sharks is number 17, Richard Shueki.
So Richard Shueki comes
being
off.
replaced by number 44, Ty
Had a couple
McGowan.
of good looks on goal, has Shueki. Forced Hilton into some saves, but this has been a story for the Sharks over the last month. Unable to find the back of the net just yet. Placed by Ty McGowan.
Marconi Stallions. Number 15, Juwan Rezai.
So Rezai will replace Mate Busek.
Number 24, Mate Busek.
Hilton. Basically the entire bench cleared now for the Stallions, save for Alexander Gvozdenovic and Patrick Williams, the backup keeper. Dylan Susovic and Lucas Chiaramella remain on the bench as well for the Sharks, aside from their backup keeper Sebastian Arans. Now Meyer. Has won the ball in a good position. It's now with Rezai. Just holds up play and uses George Daniels so easily. The Stallions have made it look exactly that on their afternoon out here at Seymour Shore. Rezai. Battling with Jordan Roberts down in the corner. There's one just flicks that away from Ruben Waratifi to keep Bayless in the play. George Daniels calling for it on this left side. Instead they went centrally. Sakanis goes to a couple of defenders in creative pass and had the right vision potentially looking for Rezai, but there's not enough room to execute that pass behind the defensive line. Was dragged to the ground by Julian Monge. Sharks will slow things down, try and commit numbers forward here. The referee just telling Jawad Rezai to take a couple steps back. Meanwhile, Skatadas is standing over this one. 7 minutes to go. A couple of minutes of stoppages as well. With Kotaro Katsuda. Daniel has to go backwards to get the ball. This will invite a bit of pressure from Sutherland. So comfortable playing out despite that to Marconi as they go long eventually. Up top towards Chimenti, who flicks it on nicely for Sakanis. And now Damien Sakanis is the only man up there. They're going to need a bit of help. Finds Rezai. Need to cut in potentially onto that right foot, still with Jawad Rezai. Top of the box is Franco Meyer, who did score on Marconi's last trip to Seymour Shore last year in that 2-1 win. Sakanis now goes down under the challenge. And just innocuous coming together there, neither of them. Stallions go forward. Oh, Sekenis has ghosted in here. Big save by Nizic. Razai was looking for it as well. It's come back out for Orange. And a massive save by Daniel Nizic to keep it at only 2. Damien Sekenis would have loved his odds from that angle. And now they could go down the other end here. Ty McGowan is racing away. Only has a Waratifi in the box in support. Goes for a shorter pass instead. And it's sent back up into the sky by the Stallions. But saved by Daniel Nizic. Roberts. Back Marconi. Sent back into the sky. Turned forward by Damien Sekenis, and he's able to beat a couple of defenders, but there's just too many blue shirts around him. Couple minutes of regulation time remaining. Looks like Marconi will get back to their winning ways. They continue their perfect run away from home, actually. This would be their 8th win, and there's many games away from Marconi Stadium. Meanwhile, Rossos is going to try himself, but is always rising. Perfect 8 wins from 8 games away are the Stallions this season. This result holds. Of course, they've had 3 draws and now 1 loss at home from their 7 games there. 3 wins, 3 draws and a loss at Marconi Stadium. Cementi has won a good ball here. Here is Sekenis to add a third potentially here for the Stallions. Damien Sekenis, and was looking for someone to tap it in at the back post. Had an open goal waiting for them. Jawad Razai was amongst them, as was Franco Maya, arriving late as well. Just unable to convert there. Down there as well, trying to test out that knee. Sekenis now looking to make amends, potentially bearing down on goal. Took a deflection off Skatadis. Now the Stallions' corner is coming. Looks like it'll be 4 minutes of time added on. There's been a couple of injuries about as well, which might play a factor in that. Plenty of substitutions.
There will be an additional 4 minutes added on.
Two hands go up here from Bayless. Now Now he puts it in. It's a good ball in, and Nizic rose highest to claim it. Rolling it out for Roberts, and time is quickly running out for the Sharks to get potentially even a goal here. 2 would be a miracle comeback at this point. Oh, it's a lovely header by Franco Meyer. Bear in mind, this is a guy that's only just started coming back from injury, and he's thrown himself at a ball in the air, despite the fact his team are basically home and hosed by now. You can see that left thigh and left knee is heavily strapped. Known for always going all out, Franco Meyer. Clementi puts that around the corner for Bayless. Here is Skatardis, though, as the Sharks are able to win back the ball. Grozos left it behind him, and Roberts just got mixed up momentarily, and you could just see how well set the Stallions are defensively. Skatardis looking for an angle towards the back post. Dealt with out to Grozos. McDonald sort of shrugged off that knock earlier. Grozos will have to hurry to get to the ball there. This does Katsuda. Norwich turns inside. Here is Fernandez looking for gaps in this Marconi defence. There aren't too many of those, and there haven't been too many times throughout this season. Sekenis. Lazai. Clementi's on that far side if they can find him, but Norwich should quickly track back to close down the angle. This time is certainly the friend of Marconi at the moment. Just looking to see out this game. Get another vital 3 points, which would be win number 10 on the season. 11, sorry. Another clean sheet to add to their name as well. A bit of ongoing discussion here with the referee. Coming. I think that might be on one of either Julian Monge or Lockie Griffiths. So Peter Grozos will stand over it. James Hilton sets his wall, 3 men in it. About 30 yards out from goal. Here is Peter Grozos. Ball does its job. As Bernie picks it up, and now he has the pace to get forward. Tyrone Bernie showing Kotaro Katsuda a clean set of heels. They had numbers there momentarily, did Marconi, but now they've got to worry about getting back quickly. Ty McGowan. Awaratifi is there centrally. It might fall kindly here for Peter Grozos. Back for Awaratifi. And just unable to convert that chance there. The Sutherland Sharks, so now they have to worry about Damien Sekenis. That has really been the difficulty for Sutherland, is converting opportunities. They now risk going 7 games without scoring a goal. It was a troubling sight. And even if it wouldn't have been an equaliser or getting a point or 3, just seeing the ball go in the back of the net and instilling some confidence. Full time here at Seymour Shaw. The first half goals from the Stallions do the job. Don Costanzo and James Bayless in the first half. Which means it's win number 11 from 15 on the season for the Marconi Stallions, which means they'll finish the first half of the season at top of the pile, with a nice handy lead to go with it as well. Bouncing back after last week's loss at Wollongong. Meanwhile, for the Sutherland Sharks, it's another game without a goal. Steve Zorich and his troops will go back to the drawing board as to how they can arrest this dry spell they find themselves in. I've been Wilton Stanton. It's an absolute pleasure to bring you this game down here in the Shire. Reminder, there's more games going on at the moment. The Western Sydney Wanderers and the Mariners finished earlier, but we have the North West Sydney Spirit and the Mount Druitt Rangers kicking off at the moment.
Sports Speed Academy, Sunday
Great game
Road,
down here at the Shire.
Reborn
Pleasure to
Athletic,
bring it to you.
Nectar
Goodbye for
Fruits,
now.
Crossbites, Lone Market Capital,